Reminiscing Students Advocate program. And it's been, let me say, the most noble task that I have embarked upon in my 50 years in this space called Earth. When I had the opportunity to champion the program almost 15 years ago, I thought I was going to teach young people taxation as it was, requested in ECFIRS before children taxation. I didn't know anything about taxation, but I had a passion to work with young people. And I said, yes, if children need to hear about tax, then we will teach them taxation. And we started the pilot in 2009. What I thought was a tax education program turned out to be, like I said, the most amazing display of the power of young people. I saw creativity, I saw passion, I saw creativity, resourcefulness, and most of all, patriotism. I saw patriotism amongst these young people. They told us by their actions that young people are not just the leaders of tomorrow, but they can be partners with us today in the development of our country. They told us by their actions that they can be the change agents that would lead to a new Nigeria and a more prosperous Nigeria. I saw firsthand a rage for change by these young people as they went out on the streets on peaceful tax rallies, urging people to pay their taxes so that the government can raise revenue to provide basic social amenities and make Nigeria a better place like the other countries that they admire. It was indeed, it was groundbreaking. It was a noble program. And 10 years later, I hear the testimonials from this group of students who made their mark in contributing their quota to nation building. And I said, wow, this is amazing. I hear from these students, I hear from Wisdom Omorogwe of the Federal Government Boys College, Gariki. I hear from David Batty, also of Federal Government Boys College, Gariki. I hear the amazing things that Babawale Kupola, is doing in Osun State, and the man that he has become, continuously contributing his quota to nation building. And I thought that this experience should not just be swept under the carpet, but that the achievements of these young patriots should be brought to the fore as a way of honoring the past and inspiring the future. So today we're going to be reminiscing the Students Advocate for Tax program. We have here with us today stakeholders, replication partners. This program, I forgot to say, was replicated in 12 states across the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria by the support of non-governmental organizations, partnering, all the while partnering with government to make Nigeria a better place. It was amazing seeing all of these major stakeholders, different sectors coming together for something that is important to our nation's well-being. So we have here with us, even right now as I speak, one of the replication partners from Osun State. Replication partner responsible for the replication of the SAP program in Osun State is right here with us. Honorable Shara Fadin is here with us. We also have with us partnering a major, on this event, Reminiscing Students Advocate for Tax, our replicating partner for Adamawa State over 10 years ago, the African Center for Media and Information Literacy. We have them with us. So they're going to be sharing with us their experiences replicating the Students Advocate for Tax program in the various states. And then the students also will be giving their testimonials of how this program impacted them. I'm not going to give the expo or start telling you, they will speak themselves on how the Students Advocate for Tax, impacted their lives and influenced their careers and all that they're doing today. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the event, Reminiscing the Students Advocate for Tax program and the virtual launch of a book titled, That's What They Said. not and then. Thank you so much. Yeah, at this point in time, I'm gonna pause, and I'm going to be calling on I'm going to be calling on our guest of honor today, who happens to also be the coordinator of the African Center for Media and Information Literacy, by the person of Dr. Chido Onuma. He is a veteran journalist and rights activist. Dr. Chido Onuma has done so much in the development of our country. For those of you who know him, and he has been at the forefront of empowering young people, empowering youth-led organizations, and youth empowerment organizations, and ensuring that Nigeria achieves her dream. He is also an author, and he has authored several books, one of which is Reclaiming Nigeria. And I dare say that the Students Advocate for Tax program is part of efforts to reclaim Nigeria, because I believe that young people are not just the now, but also the future. You also authored 60 60 years, 60 voices. You need to get that book, because contributors for the 60 years and 60 voices are young Nigerians who give their own perspective to how we can build a new, better, and prosperous Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, join me as we welcome Dr. Chido Onuma to give his testimony and his experience, not only of Students Advocate for Tax Production, but how we can indeed reclaim Nigeria. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on which part of the world you are joining us. It's a great pleasure to be here today. My name is Chido Onuma. I'm the coordinator of the African Center for Media and Information Literacy. As the Executive Director of Society for Youth Empowerment in Nigeria mentioned in our opening comments, this is a project that started over 10 years ago, and we are really excited to be part of this journey. It's a shame that we've not been able to replicate it beyond what we did 10 years ago. And many of those students who participated in that process are grown men and women now. It would have been really nice, well, they say better late than never, to have young people that you are also training, who would then train more young people, so that we develop generations and generations of Nigerians who are not just tax aware, but tax activists, and people who become foot soldiers for the tax agency, for the country itself. So we are really delighted to be part of this process. We replicated the project in Adamawa State as an organization, and it was quite an experience. We worked with schools, young people, moving around major citizens in general about what
to return. Okay, so he's back.
Yeah, sorry about that. There's a bit of a network glitch. So I was saying that we are excited to be part of this process, and we have some of the students who took part in this very innovative project many years ago still available, still interested to be part of this. The ED of SYEN talked about reclaiming Nigeria and perhaps what I've done over the years. My faith in Nigeria lies in young people. This is one creative and innovative project that we shouldn't allow to die. The future of this country rests on young people. I'm almost 60 years old. I remember as a teenager, many, many years ago, what we learned from our elders, the role they played in the development of the country before independence and after independence. We read about the nationalist struggle, whether you talk about Obafemi Awolowo, about Macaulay, Fumilayo, Ransom Kuti, Margaret Ekpo, and so on. So my belief has always been what Frantz Fanon said in the book, The Wretched of the Earth, that every generation must discover its mission, and it's left for that generation to fulfill it. I know many of us would be whining that, oh, the society that was bequeathed to us, it's not the kind of society that we hope or aspire or dream to. But yeah, that's how nature functions. That's how societies operate. Some of us, we are living in the era of Japa, where every young person just literally wants to run away from this country, understandably so, to the US, to Canada, America. But the question I keep telling young people that these countries that we all want to run to were built by individuals. They were built by citizens of those countries. Not like there's anything special about the US, Canada, or Britain, or France, that God loves them more than he loves Nigeria, or, you know, nature made them what they are. No, everything that, so even if you have the opportunity of traveling out of the country, of living outside Nigeria, have that at the back of your mind that this place I am, these facilities I'm enjoying, this beauty I'm enjoying was made possible through the blood and sweat of citizens of that nation. What that then means is that for you to have that self-consciousness, that you have to contribute to the development of your own society. We can't give up on this country. We haven't tried enough. That's why Nigeria, it is the way it is. Once we have that consciousness that every developed country, every important country in the world today, with all the beauty and glory, whether it's Dubai, was made possible by the sweat and blood. So we haven't sweated enough. We haven't shed enough blood, literally, to develop Nigeria. That's why Nigeria is the way it is. If we have bad leaders, we need to, as young people, we need to mobilize to get them out of office. We need to mobilize to insist on accountability, on probity. We need to mobilize to ask for good governance. We need to be active in the political process. So that's the principle behind remaking Nigeria or reclaiming Nigeria, which these are some of the titles of my book. I consciously address these books to young people that we will, when we were young, 30, 40 years ago, we were all over the streets of this country fighting the military. And that's why we enjoy the democracy we enjoy today. It's not, if you saw what we went through as teenagers, as young university students, blocking the major streets of, whether from the University of Benin to the University of Lagos, insisting that the military must go, that the military has no place in the modern democratic arrangement. They replied us with bullets, with torture, with imprisonment, with exile, but we continued fighting. In 1998, General Sani Abacha, who was the military dictator who took over from NS Shonekon, Chief NS Shonekon, who was the chairman of the interim national government. After 5 years of being in office as a military dictator, he wanted to transmute. He wanted to become a civilian. Many of you may not have been born, or some of you may not have been born then. In 1998, civil servants, if you come to the Federal Secretariat in Abuja here, you will see civil servants wearing "I love Abacha" lapel to come to work. Like, you can't come to your office without wearing that thing or putting some sign. That's how low this country sank a little over 20 years ago. But we insisted, we fought, we mobilized students, and luckily for us, with the help of God and our own efforts, Abacha, we saw the demise of Abacha, and the military, General Abu Salam Abubakar, who became head of state, his hand was forced to, within a year, he brought the country back to democratic governance. Unfortunately, we didn't play the role we're supposed to play in that democratic process. We allowed charlatans, scoundrels, criminals, 419ers to become governors and members of the National Assembly and so on. And that's why we are in the mess we are today. That's why we can't generate enough power, lights, to light up this country. The average, people are talking about 3,000 megawatts, 4,000. That's the average capacity that airports around the world, including airports in South Africa, use. That's what the whole country uses every day. As we're talking in the office here, we are running on gen. So it's a shame, but we can't give up on this country. My message to us all today is to understand that any country you see is a reflection of the effort or attitude of the citizens of that country. If we want this country to be better, we all can work together to make it better. Everybody has to play a role. And until and unless we do that, we can't make any progress. So it's a pleasure once again to see all of you here. We're excited to be part of this great initiative. We hope something can come out of this renewed effort. I really appreciate what the Society for Youth Empowerment in Nigeria is doing in terms of bringing back this project. We hope that with this second coming, there'll be more support, more creativity, more inclusiveness, it becomes more widespread, and so on. So on behalf of the African Center for Media and Information, and I wish us all a very successful deliberation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Chido. That was Dr. Chido Onuma, the coordinator of the African Center for Media and Information and Literacy. My takeaway from his speech is we cannot give up on Nigeria. One of the things that spurred my passion for Reminiscing the Students Advocate for tax is actually what he just said. We cannot give up on Nigeria. Acquired syndrome in this country. Significant, that is the way he said it. We can end it by youth. And that's why I want to charge us this morning, I want to buttress Dr. Chido's speech by saying that the onus is resting on young people. You have the energy, you have the creativity, you have the resourcefulness, you have the passion, you have all that it takes to take this country to a place of glory. And for us, that have devoted our time to empowering young people, to supporting you, to partnering with you, is because we believe that a new Nigeria is indeed possible. And I would say again, that Reminiscing the Students Advocate for Tax program is a way of inspiring the future. It's the way that we're reminding you again as young people that this country, the future of this country is actually in your hands, in our hands, because of collective responsibility. Thank you so much, sir, for that inspiring speech and also taking us to the history of Nigeria. Young people also need to know about the history. You need to go to the history books. You need to see people who have actually given of themselves, that have literally that laid down their lives. And Dr. Chido is even one of them. I mean, you can hear what he said. As a teenager, he did so many things because he believed in Nigeria and he believed that it was his responsibility. Now he's almost 60. We need to pass the baton over to today's young people. And through the Students Advocate for Tax program, we know that young people have what it takes. They showed it, they displayed it. Yeah, thank you so much. We're going to move on to testimonials by various stakeholders. Do we have Ms. Olajumo Kestin, please, in the house? Ms. Olajumo Kestin, please. Okay, she'll be joining us later. So whilst we wait for her to join us, because she was, a part of the pioneering of the Students Advocate for Tax program, she'll be joining us very soon. I'd like to call somebody who, I have so much respect for him. I have so much respect for him. His passion for young people is unparalleled. His passion for young people is unparalleled. And he participated in the replication of the SAT program in Osun State. His organization is the partnering organization for the replication of Students Advocate for Tax in Osun State. And like I said, his passion for youth development, for moving Nigeria to a place of glory is unparalleled. And he is going to be sharing his testimonial of the replication of SAT programs in Osun State, and of course, his passion for young people and also for Nigeria. He's done a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, join me as we welcome Honorable Sharafadin to give his testimonial. Honorable Sharafadin, over to you.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for putting up this program.
He's going to be sharing his testimonial.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay, good morning, everybody.
Okay, Honorable Sharafadin, we cannot hear you. Maybe you check if you're unmuted.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Yeah, let me first thank, I used to call you my CEO, so you're still my CEO. Let me first thank you for putting up this program. I can say I've implemented a lot of projects as an organization. We've implemented a lot of projects. But I can say the SAT program is one of the best, if not the best. It's a program that helps in developing the youth. It goes beyond issue of taxation alone. I keep telling people that if you're talking about projects, that is an all-encompassing project. We talk about the SAT project. It helps to preach the gospel of taxation, but at the same time, it helps in bringing out the best in the youth. And I can tell you, you can see from a lot of young people that have gone through this process. I know of Babawale Pipola in Osun State doing very, very well. That project was part of what actually brought out the leadership capacity. Then you can talk about Enyomaka Emmanuel is a medical doctor now. He's a medical doctor now. You can still talk about there's another guy that joined us after we finished from the school program that we are taking to the national institution. One Oladimeji is from Osun State too. Now he's doing well. That's one NGO too, doing well. I can tell you the SAT program has actually helped to build the capacity of young people. It has helped us in a lot of ways to build their capacity. And one thing I would like to say is that we need to bring out back this kind of project. It's a shame that in Nigeria we don't value what helps in developing the young people, what helps in educating the young people and building their culture. It's all about my own alone. So it's a shame. But I think when we implemented the SAT project, we took it beyond the normal replicating phase. We took it to the tertiary institution. I remember we set up the SAT club in Federal Polytechnic there. We were on the verge of doing it at OAU and some other few institutions. But I can say that one of the projects that helps shaping the youth is the SAT project. And I would like to say, if there's a way we can all come back together and see how we can bring back this kind of program so that the young people, the incoming young people will know what this project is all about. I will tell you, before you reach out to me, just few days, 2 weeks ago, I was just going through one of my jobs. I saw SAT band and SAT CD. I took it one of the CDs I put in my car. I just saw it and I said, "Daddy, play this song." And yeah, the song still, like I feel the nostalgia. Okay, hey, this SAT song, very, very good, very, very lovely. Lots of money was our best to resuscitate this program. It's something of joy talking about the SAT. About the SAT is something of joy because we took it. The most important is the buying. And when I thank God the government shoot them. Government of Bangladesh like 4 or 5 Children's Day celebrations. These are like Children's Day coming. I remember the Children's Day celebration on the S rally. There was a seminar and co. And I can say categorically, the youth are our future. I can take Babali as an example now. He has become the man that he needs to become based on the kind of knowledge that he received when he was young at the tender age. And we need to start passing those kind of knowledge again. We need to start passing those kind of knowledge so that our youth can change their focus from Yahoo to the real thing that we need for national development. Because let me tell you something, the future belongs to the youth. If we don't build our youth, we are not building Nigeria. Yeah, we are complaining about how the country is. We will complain more if we fail to do the needful to the coming generation. Because it will keep getting rotten. I've been into government and I know what it is. There are some good guys, but we have a lot of bad guys in government. I would say without your favor. People who are selfish, all about themselves. Me, myself, which is a major problem. So we need to start giving the youth the right orientation. It's going to be about us, not me. Because that's what government, how will I write my name in gold? How will I say, okay, during my own time, I did this, I did that, I did this. So I back to life. I'm in for that. It's a major thing for me. It's a major achievement project. I should say during the application. Because we took it beyond, even we were going towards sustainability. And that's why I said the government was involved people who can actually take over from me. So thank you for bringing out this program. I really appreciate the effort and I'm ready to collaborate and partner for future projects for this kind of thing to happen again. Thank you very much.
So very much. Thank you very much, Honorable Mohammed Sharafuddin. Yeah, there was something, my takeaway from your speech is that we must do the needful so that our young people would not be deploying their energy and their creativity to things like cybercrime. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why I said we need to reminisce the SAT program was actually because one of the reasons is this. I went through the testimonials of these young patriots, some of them 30 years ago, some 10 years ago, that participated in the SAT program. While they gave their testimonials, I thought I was just going to hear that, oh, because of the SAT program, I learned taxation. But to my greatest surprise, I saw testimonials. I will mention his name, David Bassi. He said, some of the values that I hold till this day, I got from SAT. And it said something that struck me. It said, one thing that I learned from SAT is service. Service, how to give back. So many awesome testimonials. And I'm thankful we were able to put the testimonials, the tax stories, the tax plans, the tax thoughts, the tax ideals by these young people who participated in this program over 10 years ago in the book. That's what they said now and then. Wisdom is here. I'm going to give him an opportunity to share his testimonial, awesome testimonial. I don't want to give you an expo, but I'm so excited, so delighted about the testimonials of these young people. Wisdom said because of the SAT program, he was positively engaged and did not have the time to be involved in vices that other of his contemporaries were involved in. I will let him give his testimonials, awesome testimony about Wisdom Omorogbe. It's right here with us. Do we have Wisdom? Wisdom Omorogbe, is he here?
Yes.
Wisdom Omorogbe, we're going to give you 3 to 5 minutes to give a testimonial of how the SAT impacted. When I read your testimonial, it spurred me up to put that book together. When I hear all the things that you wrote, so over to you, Wisdom. Introduce yourself.
Thank you very much,
What
madam.
you do.
I am
Give us a testimonial.
Wisdom. I'm Wisdom, currently still schooling at the University of Benin Teaching Hospital. It's a privilege and a rare honor to actually be here to be able to share my story and experience of what SAT Club did for me back then in secondary school. First of all, I must say that it feels good to see Madam Uduole, Robo Uduole's face again. Last time I saw her then, I was still very, very much younger, but it was the energy with which she engaged us as young students then in secondary school. It was invigorating. Anytime she was coming to school, it felt like we had an open day that day. It was something we look forward to because back then we found that experience of being able to harness our gifts or our talent or our creativity. We found it worthwhile. Aside from the SAT felt more like a platform where we expanded the burst of energy we had in us as young students and as boys. We're all boys in our school, so it was something that we really looked forward to. SAT gave us some form of direction. SAT taught us some very, very, very salient principles that has kept responsibility, the essence of taxation, and why it is important that as leaders, if you are going to tax your people, if you're going to tax the persons or the populace, you owe it as a responsibility to the community and to make contributions. All of that just instilled some sense of responsibility and discipline in us back then, that no matter where we find ourselves, we are responsible to the community. We are responsible for the development of our community, and that whatever. So since then till now, I was sharing on my WhatsApp status yesterday when I was talking about this program that SAT was a transformation point for me. Aside from the advocacy, SAT gave me or gave a lot of us eminent personnel. I think I met with the director of FRS that time, Professor Omoy. Then I met with some very eminent, I attended some high level functions that I know naturally if I was not reading my books or something, I would have just been in school. I wouldn't have gotten that experience, but SAT gave us exposure. SAT helped us channel our energies back then to very, very meaningful and impactful engagement. I remember we had the opportunity of sitting down and writing out songs. There were persons who could sing, there were those who could rap, there were those who could draw. I remember my classmate Gabriel then. Gabriel was a very, very fine artist. And the beautiful thing is that some of these skills that we had then, we've gone ahead now to maximize them, that these are some of the things that we find ourselves doing right now. Some of us even make it as a means of living. I know David is a world-class producer and video content creator right now in Abuja. I know what do you call his name now? Daniel Young Willis is one of the top producers in Nigeria, music producer now. Willis was one of the rappers in the lead song that we created for the tax advocacy. Willis is currently doing well now. David Bassey is doing well now. Arinze is as well doing well now. Some of these things that SAT did for us through Madam Oduwole, it was just amazing. I cannot, I don't know how else to express it, but it is one of the reasons why I also still feel like after my medical degree, I want to come back to Abuja. I want to meet with these personalities and see how I can continue to make impact in the corridors of Abuja and the FCT, because leadership, I just can't explain it. When they talk about advocacy or community service, it has lived and continuously to be a part of me up until now. I took up leadership roles in the university during my first degree in Ilorin. I rose through the ranks of the Student Representative Council, became president of my department in my final year. Even getting into medical school now, it has just been with me. It's been one position to another, trying to make impact, trying to just improve my environment and my community wherever I found myself. Like the last speaker talked, I really am looking forward to see that this program can be reinitiated again and started up in secondary school, because there are a lot of students who are just looking for platform to express themselves, or these short or small programs like this in secondary schools have a way of just helping to shape or direct the part of a young person, a young girl or a young boy out there. It might just be the saving grace of turning a problematic child into being the apple of the father's eye or something like that. So I look forward to more programs like that. I look forward to it being reinitiated, and I look forward to being able to give my partners. So it's been wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Wisdom, inspiring testimonial. I was just smiling all through your speech. Thank you so much. It's like I said earlier, the SAT program, was an opportunity that God Himself gave to me, because it's the most noble program that I have embarked upon in this space called Earth. I say that again. These are not just testimonials. These are not just words. The rage, the passion to want to, contribute to Nigeria. When I watched the videos of these young people back in the day, I said, wow. I began feeling guilty that we're not doing enough today. We are not doing enough. And Wisdom said something. He said it gave them a platform for expression. And there are so many other young children in the primary school, in the secondary school, in the universities that are looking for these kinds of opportunities to express themselves, to let their voices be heard. I like to say this, I want to commend the visionary leadership of the then Executive Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, in the person of Mrs. Ifweko Omoigi Okaro. God used her, she made all of this happen. She is indeed a professional hero to me and a visionary leader. I would not have been able to do the little that I did without a support, without a visionary leadership. She was always there to do everything that it took to give these young people a platform for expression, a platform to contribute their quota. And I'm so happy, I'm so excited to hear this. 10 years later, that our young tax advocate back in the day, the young Wisdom, he finished his first degree in the University of Ilorin, biochemistry, went on to the University of Benin to do his MBBS, And right there in University of Benin, he has his own, social innovation program of drug abuse. He's currently holding positions of leadership in the Association of Medicine Students, or I don't know what they call the association. And I hear his testimonial that all of these, he caught during his time in SAP. What it means is that beyond even advocating for tax, this program instilled in them the passion and the knowledge to know that they need to give back to their society, and that it's all about service. It's all about us putting our hands together to make Nigeria a better place, to improve our communities, to improve our country for ourselves, and also for the generation yet unborn. Thank you so much, Wisdom. I'm going to call on other people, other SAT members, to give their testimonials. This is SAT Abuja. I'm going to move now to Osun State. We're traveling to Osun State. We are traveling right about now to Osun State. We have our own Babawale Popola in the house. Is Babawale in the house? Babawale, are you here? Okay.
Yes,
okay. Yeah, now we are in Osun State right now. Babawale Popola, I'm not going to talk too much. I will just let him. Just letting him say his thing will communicate the rest to you. We welcome the pioneer president of the Students Advocate for Tax SAT Osun chapter, Honorable Babawale Popola, because he's a member of the Youth Parliament. Okay, so we'll welcome you, Honorable, to give your testimonial. Thank you.
Thank you very much, highly esteemed mentor, Mrs. Robo. I must confess that you are one of the very few people that I can say helped me to fashion out a good roadmap for my life, which I'm currently proud of right now from the SAT system. Thank you for having me. Good morning, everybody. Like she rightly introduced, my name is Babawale Jamiu Popola, and I'm excited to be part of this event and, of course, to share my SAT story with you. As a passionate and young driven Nigerian, I've dedicated my time and effort to making positive impacts in my community, in my constituency, in my state, and of course, in my country beyond. And the ultimate thing is going up in Nigeria, specifically Osun State. I was opportunity to be one of the pioneer members of the Student Advocate for Tax Club in our school then. Special thanks to the replicating organization, Center for Education and Youth Initiative of Self-Education in Nigeria, that's CESED, under the leadership of Mr. Muhammad Sharafuddin, who served as a major guide for us then while we are in school. It may interest you all to know that as I currently speak, I am an honorable member of the Nigerian Youth Parliament, speaking and representing the voice of young people at the Nigerian National Assembly here today. And all of this current position, I must say that the capacity, the influence, the network, and of course, having to speak for young people, all of these experiences were made right from the SAT club in my school, at Auda School of Science to be specifically. I think I should be very much specific about some things. While we held some of our advocacy rallies in the year 2011 specifically, I was opportune to be the one to address the deputy governor of our state then on the need for the state government to look inward into the internally generated revenue as a way of generating revenue. Considering the fact that at that particular point in time, there is a level of low revenue generation in the state. One of the major testimonies is that this went up straight up for the state. And of course, for me as a person, the relationship being gathered from that conversation and engagement is one of the very few opportunities that has helped me to be able to navigate into the governance system today. And today I can also say that with that relationship, I'm currently also a legislative assistant to a distinguished senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria representing Osun Central Senatorial District, to be precise. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not just about myself alone, but I'm also very much sure that a number of my colleagues that we were both SAT members are doing well in different ramifications of life. The SAT did not just help us find our path in life, but the SAT also helped us in creating a rich network of young people that we so much believe that the effort of the government alone can never be enough to influence sustainable development in our society. And as such relationship are still being maintained as we keep on looking at a way of impacting lives of young people. And of course, generality of Nigerians as of today. Beyond secondary school activities, we went straight up to also initiating the SAT clubs in tertiary institutions. I remember Ladoke Axelowo University of Technology. I remember Federal Polytechnic there. I remember Obafemi Awolowo University. And I can say that with all of these establishment of the SAT networks, the SAT has not just given us a platform to amplify the voices of young people, but also for young people to make changes that matters in the society. And today, it is a thing of joy to say that Opoyemi Oladimeji, one of our partners, is doing well. And of course, I also know so well that he's writing his PhD right about now. And of course, taxation is one of his major cause, to say specifically. For me, I didn't end up majoring in tax advocacy, but I can say that with all of the guidelines that I received then from the SYEN in partnership with Society for Youth Empowerment in Nigeria, that is under the leadership of our COO, the Chief Operating Officer of the Student Tax Advocacy Initiative, I was able to learn how to come up with policy documents and policy advocacies. And this is one of the major things that is currently helping me speak for my constituency at the Nigerian Parliament. And today I can state it very clearly without missing word that out of all of the young persons representing their constituencies in the Nigerian National Assembly today, I have one of the highest number of bills and motions that have been impactful so far directly to my constituency and to young people. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't really, because of time, I know there are also some persons that are also to speak, but the bottom line is the SAT did not just give us a platform to amplify our voices, but the SAT empowered and gave so many young people, including myself, the capacity to be able to influence the society that we want, and of course, to be able to become the kind of person that we are today. SAT is that same organization that helped me found my path. And thanks to Mr. Muhammad Sharafadin, thanks to Mrs. Robo Oduwole. Oh God, I'm seeing this video. This is the video I'm talking about.
I'm indeed very happy to see and witness what you are doing this afternoon. Clap for yourself. It is very important that we all pay our tax, because it's from the proceeds of the tax that roads will be maintained, infrastructures will be provided, even your feeding in school will be augmented. So I'm very happy that you took a decision on your own to run this campaign of promotion of tax savings. The Lord will pay with you. So what we're doing this afternoon is highly appreciated by the governor of the state. And on behalf of the governor, I say a big thank you to all our
excellent. The Honorable Mrs. Titilawi Somebody.
We appreciate you, man. We are the student advocates for tax of Pathological Science of one of your schools in Ocean State. What do? We advocate for tax. We'll lecture the people, let them know what tax is, its importance, the reasons why they should pay tax, how they will pay it, to whom they will pay it, the process of payment, and how to calculate their tax rates. Yes, ma'am. We also go further to enumerate the importance of tax and letting them know that good education, free education, good and free healthcare services, good electricity, social amenities, etc. They all depend on their tax. If they don't want to pay their tax, how will you get money to pay the teachers? Because we students of Osun State, we are presently gaining from the free education because you are not paying a dime. What will you get the money for that? Let's give a round of applause.
Let's have a completed speech. Complete your speech. We thought to just play the clip so that everyone can see that you're not just saying words, but that even from the time of being at our School of Science, you did all of this. Thank you so much for leading the team at SAT Osun State. You can continue and round up your speech. Thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you very much, my CEO. Honestly, you already busted my bubbles looking at that video right from 2012, there about that, I think. So, okay, so basically, at this point in time, I am eager to be reconnecting with like-minded individuals. And of course, one of those things that I would strongly recommend is that the Student Tax Advocacy Initiative being championed by the SYEN should, at this point in time, collaborate more on initiatives that would make positive impact as that of the Student Advocate for Tax. Because for me personally, I would keep on reiterating that if not for me being a member of the SAT club while I was in secondary school, I would not have been able to discover this part of social impact and policy advocacy in life, which is obviously my my major course as we speak. So the SAT is a great platform that will not just help maximize the energy of young people as assets for our nation, but also help them have a clear roadmap in their life, which would obviously be one of the major impacts that we can say that would work together to make a difference. And I am willing to be part of the major champions of this course. Thank you very much for taking the time to learn about me and my SAT journey. I love you all, and I believe together we'll continue to make a difference.
Thank you so much, Obawale Popola. I am so inspired. Man, I'm actually having a swell time. Thank you so much. And you know, reminiscing the Students Advocate for Tax program, you see, true success is when every generation continues to develop the next generation. I can see that happening. That over 15 years ago, we did what we did, and today, what we did 10 years, 13 years, 15 years ago, was seeing the fruits, the results. You heard its testimonials, that even in its capacity as a youth parliament, he's the one that has passed, you know, the highest number of bills, which includes, you know, bills on taxation. All of these started during his advocacy at Tauta School of Science. We're not just building, you know, we're not just creating a platform for expression for these young people, but we're actually helping them chart the course of their life and giving them, you know, what they need, the skills and the tools that they need to contribute their quota to the development of their country and be all that they're meant to be and be all that they are meant to be. Baba Wale, I'm so proud of you. And I'm so happy because we did what we did. Now we're passing the baton. We'll always be here. I will always be here. This is my life's work. But we're passing the baton over to you. And I thank you so much for saying that you'll always be there to support us in building even the younger generation of leaders. Thank you so much. So right about now, we're going to be calling yet another tax advocate. Do we have Ms. Simplice in the house? Okay, so we're going to be calling yet another tax. Let's move back to Abuja. We'll move back to Abuja and let's call on Kasarachi. Kasarachi is right here. If you're right here, I'll give you 5 minutes to give your testimonial, max 5 minutes to give your testimonial. Kasarachi is a lawyer, is an Abuja-based lawyer, SAT alumna, Federal Government Boys College, Gariki, Abuja, pioneer member of the SAT club. Back in the day, 2009, they started SAT. They are the pioneers. The likes of Kasarachi, David Bassi, Olori Juwon, Ajuboye, and all of them at the Federal Government Boys College Director when we did the pilot in 2009. Ladies and gentlemen, join me as we welcome Dwight Barrister Kasarachi to give his testimonial. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mrs. Grebo. Can you hear me? Are you able to hear me? Just to be sure. Yeah, can you hear me? Hello? Yeah. Hello. Can everyone hear me? All right. Okay. I can see that someone responded. All right, that's fine. I'm pleased to be here today to be a part of this interactive session, as it were, and also relive the memories of our togetherness in terms of purpose on what taxes should be, how we should understand it, what it should do for us, and what we would gain from it. It's really good. I think the first guy who spoke, the medical doctor in Uniben, the guy is still in medical school. Yeah, I think he was an Akubo, right? So he has really reflected much of what my memories were as well. And it was really a nice time. I remember that time in 2009 when Mrs. Robo came to our class. It's just funny that we were even chosen to be the ones who were going to do the tax advocacy, because an art class typically is not the class you want to use to do anything exceptional for your school, because it's believed that the science students are the intelligent ones, right? She steps into our class that day and then just mesmerizes us with what this club is going to be all about, and then asks who is going to be interested. And then somehow we just believed in what she was saying without really understanding it so much. But along the line, she really changed our mindset towards how tax works. And like the earlier speaker said, there was a lot of there were a lot of expositions. We went for meetings with the executive director of FIRS, met with big players in the industry, spoke to them, they spoke to us, and that kind of give us the mindset that we understand today to be some of the bedrock upon which we do the things we do. So, for example, I'm a lawyer today. I'm basically practicing in the corporate and finance industry, and one of such is tax law. I had to even go to school too. I remember when I was in uni, the lecturer particularly who was taking the course on taxation was rumored to be one guy who people would never pass his course, right? And nobody wanted to do tax law, and people didn't want to solve mathematics. Lawyers don't like maths, yeah. But remembering that I was coming from a background where I was a student advocate for tax, how we always wrote those stuffs on those papers and sang the songs like he had mentioned, the Daniel Wills and the Ajiboyes, the pictures. and all of that. I said, I'm going to do this course. I don't mind whatever grade it is. I just want to advance in that. And I remember my dad told me that I should do the course since I have a background in something tax in school. And I wasn't surprised to have made straight A's from the first and second semester, because everyone was like, how did you do it? I'm like, maybe this thing is from way back, right? And today, even when I sit with clients and we try to talk to them about their tax liabilities, how to go about it, how to let them know the taxes they are meant to pay, the industry taxes that applies to them. And if I see some of them being, sort of resentful towards paying tax, complaining about how they don't see the impact and all of that, that advocacy in me still tells me to tell them that, hey, pay your tax, that's the right thing. After paying your tax, then we can go over to the other side of life to hold the people we are paying the taxes to accountable to use it to make the society work. Right. So I often find myself still being that advocate, telling them, no, sometimes I want to register businesses for people, maybe incorporate some kind of a business entity for them. And then the first thing they get scared of is, if I register this, when will I start paying tax? I don't want to pay tax. And I'm like, no, relax. You've not even done the turnover necessary for you to pay tax. Okay, let's get to 25 million before we talk about value-added tax. Let's get to, about 100 million before we talk about company income tax. So I'm like, this is not even your fear. So one of the things I noticed is that the fears people have towards tax, some of them are not even real. So people think like, if 100 million comes into my account, I'm going to pay a tax of 40% of it or 20% of it automatically. I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. Well, first of all, even do the deductions. There are things called allowable the allowables, the deductibles, the things, your running cost and all of that. So it's at the end of all of these permutations and all of this balancing of account that will now say, okay, it is the profit from this that you are now required to pay this. And there are a lot of exemptions, incentives, and all of these are applicable. So sometimes they're like, do you work in FIRS? I said, no, I don't actually work in FIRS, but I sort of have seen societies that have used tax, to build. I did my master's in the UK in international financial law, and typically, if you've been to the UK, you know that they ain't got nothing. They don't have many natural or mineral resources. This is a city built on taxes and on human, labor. And the system works for them. So I'm like, if you usually travel outside, you enjoy the buses, you enjoy the train, you enjoy the facilities, the securities, everything that works well. Don't you think it was someone who had paid their tax before you came to the city that has put this system for you? I'm like, you didn't come to this place and it was at your arrival that they built the train stations. The train stations were existing before you came. And it was somebody that had worked years ago that was taxed to build what you're enjoying now. And therefore, if you want your children, the next generation, to have something to look at Nigeria and say these infrastructures are helping us make life better, you have to put in some level of commitment financially, to them. So I think I'm happy that we're coming back again, that we're trying to relaunch something great. And to be honest, is the catch them young. That's how we call it those days on campus, catch them young. The catch them young technique that was used by Mrs. Robo worked really well in us, and I think it's something that we should, continue, in as much as, and just maybe as a further step, just as we are advocating that people should also pay the tax. Maybe the second leg to it is also, try to find out ways we can also monitor that, these taxes are utilized, a little bit of in the right way. And then a lot of orientation has to go into people's mind to understand what taxes are really, and then how it makes the society better. So I'm really excited to be here. I hear the testimonies of everybody here is really, really encouraging to know that that seed that was sown, some 10 years ago now, or 12 years. For me, it was like, this is about 14 years now, or 13 years ago, since 2009 that happened. That tree is still, that seed has become a tree now, and that tree is now giving shade to many people. So that's Mrs. Robo, if you ever think that you didn't do anything in life, whenever you remember us, just know that you did a lot much more. And through us, you are doing many more things. Thank you so much, guys. I think my time should be up now.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Barrister Katarati. Thank you for that awesome testimony and for educating us more on taxation, this time coming from the technical the technical point of view. But I'm so glad about something, that SAT even influenced careers in taxation. He's a lawyer, and he's specializing on tax laws and finance. And I'm so glad that SAT not only gives these young people a voice, but it also influences their careers and what they're doing today. And I like something that he said. He said the experience he had advocating for tax payment is even deploying it while dealing and working with his clients. To calm down and, shed more light on why they should pay their taxes, telling them how they should pay their taxes and all of the processes. Thank you so very much. So SAT is instilling values, charting the course for many young people, influencing careers, and so much more. Okay, so we're going to be calling on, we're reminiscing the Students Advocate for Tax program and the virtual launch of the book, That's What They Said. So you can see, we're giving you an expo of That's What They Said. You can hear them saying it. Okay, so that's what. So that's what they said. We're going to be calling on another tax advocate to give his testimonial. Do we have David Ewuda in the house? David Ewuda is one of the tax advocates who compose, sang, rap, When I hear the testimonials, it's just so awesome that one of our tax advocates who participated in the production of the SAP album, a collection of 8 songs, is one of the top music producers in Nigeria and even in Africa. Young Willis, Daniel Williams, also known as Young Willis, is making waves, a top music producer. We also have David Woodard, who is a lawyer, but back in the day, he was one of the rappers that rapped, a tax for us. We're going to be calling on David Woodard to share his testimonial. David Woodard, if you're there, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Mrs. Rubo. I'm not sure if everyone can hear me. Wow.
That was David Ewuda rapping. Unfortunately, we couldn't get that music out. This is how we do. This is how we do. If you don't pay your taxes, tell me how we're gonna roll. This is how we do. This is how we do. If you don't pay your taxes, tell me. Okay, David Ewuda, please sing that song for us. If you can remember, I'll sing with you. Okay, come on now.
Good morning, ma. Good morning, everyone here. I'm not sure if you can hear me clearly. Yes, good morning. I'm not sure if you can hear me clearly.
Hey, this is how we do. This is how we do.
Okay. Good morning, Mrs. Rocket. It's so good. I've been seeing this video is very nostalgic for me. I would like to plead before I even say anything. I would like to plead, Mrs. Robot. I get that. I would like to just. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. First of all, we owe a lot of thanksgiving to you for the role you played
for us in back in the day, right there in secondary school. It's SAT club was it was an opportunity that just came at the right time for many of us. I was a member of the club in Federal Government Boys College, Apo. I've seen some of my schoolmates here. Wisdom was here earlier, and Kasarachi as well. He was a year ahead of us at the time. It was an opportunity for us for me personally, SAT Club was an opportunity for me to explore talents. In fact, that was the first thing that drew me, to be honest. I didn't know anything about, in fact, when I first heard about SAT, I didn't know anything about the club. Or the only thing I knew was that there was an opportunity there for us to express our talents. There was opportunity there for us to do so. That was like the first thing that drew us in into participation in the club. Then we began to attend meetings, and then of course we did some of the songs, of course along with a lot of other people. Some of the names that she has mentioned: David Bassi, Sorochi, Gabriel Jamed, Vitus Odo, and a number of other people. Of course, apologies for that. My apologies for that. A call came in. So yes, that opportunity to express ourselves was a major thing that we had, that SAT Club impacted in us. Then second of all, like Wisdom already said, it gave us the opportunity of early exposure. We were allowed to meet. We were meeting. I think both Wisdom and Kasarachi made mention of it. How at the time we were meeting high players, we were meeting big people in the industry. And you can imagine secondary school students, like I wrote in my testimonial, the thrill we experienced being interviewed on TV at that time was just because then, of course, for a secondary school student, being being on TV was a big deal, was a big thing, and it is a big deal. So because then the people we saw on TV were the government people, the actors and actresses, and presidents, governors, ministers, that sort of thing. So for us to, I remember then that when we were interviewed, I'm not sure which TV station it was again, but I remember that when we were interviewed, there was a particular show on taxation. I think it was NTA that the interview showed on. And later on, I would have people reach out to me and tell you, I saw you on TV. I remember my parents as well reached out and said, oh, they put so and so something that you people did on TV and all. And it was quite an exciting experience at the time. And then we had the opportunity to, like Kasarachi said, meet with the FIRS DG of that time. And it was a big deal. One of the things that it did for me was to make me confident. It gave me a lot of confidence, first of all, in my abilities, and then confident to also relate with, to be able to interact with, say, confidence before people, confidence on big stages, because we had opportunities in several fora to do some of the songs that we did, and then of course we had interviews. We came in contact with, and they would ask us questions. And so that confidence at that age to interact with people, who were people who you would probably never have the opportunity to meet. And then here they are asking you questions, being interested in knowing, in hearing from you and all. It built a sense of confidence in us to be able to be confident on big stages. Also, it's personally, like Mr. Duwale made reference to what David Bassi said, that it gave me personally that orientation, that service orientation as well. It gave me the orientation of service, the orientation of wanting to see, because without SAT Club, it would have been easy for me as a person to fall prey to some of the narratives that go on about the country, about how things don't, some of the complaints that people have as regarding the state of the country and all. But then that background gave me the opportunity to see things from a different perspective about how, first of all, the responsibility that we all have to make Nigeria work. The responsibility we all have to make Nigeria work. The responsibility we all have to play our part to make sure that Nigeria is who she is meant to be. And of course, in all the different areas, but also in the area of paying taxes. Like Kasarachi said, most of the developed countries that people look up to now don't even have much of the things that we have, but they created systems. And one of their systems was our systems of taxation, where people pay taxes and then those taxes are used for the greater good, for the common good of every member of the society. So like he said, the ideal is that we pay our taxes and then we can hold anybody accountable as regarding how the taxes are used. So in essence, what I'm saying is I would have probably not have had as much sense of responsibility towards Nigeria and towards playing my part to make Nigeria work as I currently have if I had not been a member of SAT Club. Of course, we remain grateful to Mrs. Oduwole. She, like Kasarachi said, she engaged us with a level of confidence in our ability. She engaged us with a level of with a youthful vigor, with a youthful vibe that it appears she has still retained up till today. Thank you so much, ma. SAT Club was a major season, or was a major time in our lives, and we are grateful to have had that opportunity to do that we did. And we are open also as well to greater to further opportunities of collaboration, and also, like she said, and like has been said, to play our part in also following up the next generation of people who are coming afterwards to also do. Because if we could have such testimonials now, then that means that if we reach out to people who are coming behind, they would have similar or probably even bigger testimonials as regarding the impact of this initiative in their lives. And like you said, Ma, career, the different areas of impact, impact in terms of personal values, impact in terms of career progression, and so on and so forth. So we can't know the how much of a difference this can make and this will make if we continue it and if we keep the ball rolling. Thank you so much once again. I'm very grateful. And I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, David Eguda. He's a lawyer. You know, I love that song. And you know, the beautiful thing about the SAT program, can you imagine somebody working and enjoying at the same time? You know, you're empowering these young people, and they're such a great delight. Such a great delight. They are the best problem solvers I've ever known. Young people. The creativity, the passion, I prefer, even if I come to this world a second time, if there's a second time too, I'd rather work with young people than work with adults. Thank you so much, David. And we never know. When you sow these things, you never know what the outcome. I mean, the harvest is just awesome. Thank you so much. And I was working, I was empowering, I was mentoring them, and I was also having a good time, you know, and then we'll dance, this is how we do, this is how we do. If you don't pay your taxes, tell me how we're gonna roll, you know? SAT was not only a guy's thing, we've been having guys, you know, coming to do their testimonials, even the girls too, you know, so we had schools, we didn't have just all boys, all girls, we also had, you know, mixed schools. We have in the house one of our very active female tax advocates in the person of Mrs. Olabisi. I don't know her last name, but Bisi makes Bisi is right here. Sorry, I forgot your last name. Bisi is right here. She was a member of the Student Advocate for Tax, Kingsville College. They did awesome, awesome, awesome. Went out on the street, chanting and advocating for tax. Pay your taxes, pay as when due, pay as when due, pay as when due, pay your. This was always at the forefront. Let's welcome DC to give her testimonial.
Thank you very much for having me. Can we, hope we can hear? If you can hear me, please, someone should just put maybe on the chat so I know my network is good. Thank you so much for having me with this group. It's, in fact, it's so good to see you. It's such a pleasure to see you. It's absolutely beautiful. And it's amazing to see that the passion is still there for youth, and everything we knew about you. I can still see all of that. Good morning, everyone. It's really good to be here. It's good to be present at this meeting. So, in fact, it's been an absolute pleasure listening to what everyone has to say. And it's amazing to see that everyone has almost the same thing to say about tax, to say about tax, and how much it has impacted, our lives personally and even in our different fields. Just give me 1 minute, my network. Okay. My name is Olabisi Apata, now Mrs. Olabisi Alabi. I'm married and with a little baby girl. Yes. So like I said, it's good to be here, and it's good to listen to everyone's testimony about how much SAT has impacted us positively. The values it has instilled in us, which we're still benefiting from even to this very moment. I'm just going to quickly point out some of the things that SAT experiences I had. I'm going to start from the beginning, which was when SAT was the SAT law was introduced to Kingsville College, which is the secondary school I attended. And I remember then, like I wrote in my testimonial, I literally joined reluctantly because it was kind of a necessity for us to belong to one club. And we just looked around and I'm like, okay, that's our club, you know what, we're just going to join, we're going to join this club. And interestingly, like I said also in my testimonial, I got to a turning point when I met Mrs. Robo. It was, I think that was the first time as a young adult, meeting a woman who has children, going all out, who is also a professional, a working class woman, who works, and then, she's managing things at work, and sometimes you see her also managing things with, her children. And it was really inspiring for me as a lady. So I saw it differently from other people. I'm going to bring this in. I'm bringing this in now because I'm working and I'm also a mom. So it has added to the level of respect I have for Miss Robo and how much that for me, as back then, as a young adult, SAT club for me was one of the most noble cause I ever, embarked on or engaged in. Because as a person, before now, I used to be very timid. I didn't have should I use the word, like a very privileged background in terms of education, where I started from, now primary school. So coming secondary school and then, still being timid and all of that, struggling to, really understand what's going on. And then you're placed in this platform where, they make learning fun. They teach you to build your confidence. That for me, that's just it. SAT club made learning fun. It's I see it as a classroom outside the school, where we learn not just about taxation, like every other person has rightly said. It also taught us lots of things like self-confidence, uh, public speaking, yes, and many other things. Having said this, let me also say a little about SAT Club. Of course, we all know that SAT Club is about, bringing them young. This is to be Ms. Robo's line, to catch them young, to teach them about taxation, and the impact it has on nation building. Like everyone has rightly said, I would strongly advise that this initiative should be
We lost BC. I believe that. We lost the connection rather. We lost the connection rather. While you saw, we were trying to play a video. BC was right there in that video. I told you that she always at the forefront. I believe when she comes back, when her connection is back, she will complete a testimonial. That was VC Olabisi, now VC Alabi of Kingsville College. She was very active in the SAT Club of Kingsville College back in the day, 2010, 2011. Amazing testimony. I was so emotional when she was talking about that one of the things that SAT did for her was seeing, a woman, a female doing all the things that I was doing at the time with little children. My kids were little at the time. They're men right now, young adults. But back in the day, they were little. And when she was saying that, I remember how I forgot my younger son in school when I was, at the program in Federal Government Boys College. I had finished. I was so excited and so fulfilled with everything that the boys did. And I was on my way home, just happy. And on my way, I said, wow, where's my son? And this was like 7:30 p.m. I even forgot my son in school because of SAT. So there are always sacrifices that we need to make. And I remember, so it's not easy juggling a career and children, but I was able to manage manage the home front and manage the SAT program and all the other programs that I was doing. So I was actually very emotional when she said that, because that was a lot of skill. You need skill to manage both and do well. So I think BC connection is back. We're going to hand over to BC to complete our testimonial. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sorry, good. Yes, can you hear me? My sincere apologies, please. A call came in and interrupted. I had to log in again. Yes. So, notwithstanding, not to take much of your time, I'll just, is it okay to continue from where I stopped, ma'am?
Yeah.
My sincere apologies again. Okay, thank you. So, like I said, I really, okay, I'm just trying to, anyways, I was talking about SAT. If I recall, that's where I stopped from. Basically, there is nothing new I would say that has not already been said by all the previous speakers, which for me, this meeting is also, a good time to reminisce on everything SAT has done, I wouldn't use the word done, but rather contributed to our lives as young adults. And I would just want to state that I'm more than available and willing to collaborate and also put in my quota if we intend to, which I believe that will happen if when we intend to reintroduce, this platform. It should, we have lots of young adults out there who need this. We're not just doing this we're doing this for the next generation. Ms. Robo said something. She said she believes that true success is when one generation impacts the next. So for me, my concern is, it shouldn't just, stop with us, but rather we should preach this gospel even to the next, generation. It is very important. You don't know the big difference you're making. It may be that, a student in school who is probably having a hard time, thriving in other things. I'm speaking from my personal experience. Who's probably having a hard time thriving in other things. I'm talking of certain subjects, and then it can kill your confidence. You're like, oh, I'm not really doing well. And then here's a platform that gives you the opportunity to express yourself, to be who you are, to bring out, those qualities you never thought you had, like speaking in public. Once I believe as a person, once you've been able to build your confidence, there's no limit to what you can achieve. There is nothing you can't face. And I can tell you for a fact that before SAT Club, I was so timid, even academically, I was kind of struggling and everything. But Mr. Robo still pushes, write this article, make this research. It's more like a roadmap to success, teaching you what to do in order to see certain results in your life. So this should be encouraged, this should be promoted. I'm all in for anything SAT, for any program like this. Like I said, I'm ready to, contribute my time, resources. So yes, I really want to not to say too much, because I believe a lot has already been said, not just by me, but by other speakers, and everything they've said is true. And I must mention that you made SAT SAT Club a very fun time. We always look forward to it. Like it was the highlight, the landmark, it was literally the highlight of my time in school. I would always, even to now in marriage, interestingly, before Ms. Robo reached out to me, when she started planning for this meeting, I would always say to my husband that, oh, back then in school, I belonged to one club, it's called SAT Club, that advocacy, we're still, even as adults right now, we're still preaching the gospel of taxation. I currently work with a real estate firm here in Abuja, and then I remember the day I was handed my tax clearance certificate. I was so excited. Yes, yeah. I was really excited. I'm like, yes, I will work in Nigeria and I pay my tax, it comes with excitement. So I just want to say one thing which I've already said in closure, that this should continue, not just for us. You've made your impact in our lives. That's just the truth. But for the next generation, we should really continue. For that child somewhere out there who doesn't know how to go about building self-confidence, and this should continue. We should catch them young. The culture of catching them young should be encouraged. Yes. In closure, I just want to say thank you. It's been a privilege to be part of this. In fact, it's another opportunity to learn. Hearing the experience of everybody, I've learned a lot. So it's also a reminder of what we've learned already. And I also want to say that may God continue to strengthen you, the zeal you have for young people like myself and other people, may it not die down, yes, and you continue to reap the fruits of, this labor by the grace of God. So thank you for having me. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Vicky. Thank you very much, Vicky. I am I'm excited. I'm full of joy. Thank you for that awesome testimonial. The impact of the SAT it's far-reaching. It's just ridiculous. I hear a testimonial, of public speaking, building confidence, learning and having fun at the same time. You can actually learn and have fun. And that was what SAT was all about. We were doing all the things that we were doing, and we met these young people where they were. What can you do? You love singing? Come on, sing about that. You love writing articles? Come on, write about tax. You love public speaking? Come on, do a talk show about tax. We met them where they were, and they used that, to express their knowledge on taxation, and it builds their confidence. I mean, it's just so awesome. Thank you so very much. Thank you. I'm honored. Right about now, I'd like to call on the tax club, the tax club Abuja, past president of the tax club Abuja. Is he here? After Solomon, okay, it's right here. Okay, so we're all stakeholders. This is a guy that I really do respect. We wasn't part of our program in the secondary school, but I met him at the University of Abuja, where they had a program in the tax club in the University of Abuja. Passionate about nation building, passionate about tax advocacy. Is currently the vice president of the CITN tax, of the CITN, the Trinidad Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, has a tax office, currently the vice president, and was also past president of the Tax Club University of Abuja. Let's welcome Solomon to give his testimonial. It's just awesome to have these young people doing so much. And I think we're so blessed. And what we need to do is to repose more confidence in them, continue to mentor them and support them, because they are the now and the future. Thank you so much. Let's welcome Solomon as he comes on to give his testimonial and share with us all that is doing for Nigeria and for taxation. Solomon.
All right, so good afternoon, man. Can you hear me? Okay, it's morning. Good morning. All right, and it's really good to be here, and I just want to commend the effort you've put so far for the SAT, the Student Advocacy for Taxation. I think University of Abuja Tax Club have also been a beneficiary of this your initiative. The 2019 annual tax symposium we organized, we are privileged to have you, and the kind of spirit and that you came with, and was so inspiring, and it's really inspired so many of us to take this advocacy and the leadership building and skills very serious as even as student advocates. So we want to thank you for whatever you are doing, and just like other speakers have spoken, we hope to see that SAT comes back, and for us at Task Force University of Abuja, we're ready for collaboration, for partnership, to also push forward to see that a platform is created for young people. I think it was Chimamanda Adichie who at the annual general conference of Nigerian Bar Association, who said that the Nigerian young people are deficit of mentors. And we're always happy and proud when we have some mentors like you, man. And it's really inspiring of the stories that we've heard this morning. And we hope that going forward, when the club SAT comes back, we have more partnership to continue to grow. And at the national level, we now have what we call the Association of Nigerian Tax Students, we call ANTAS. And it's an initiative of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. We started last year, and then we have the second leadership transition, in which by God's grace, I'm the vice president. And what we do basically is to see how we can create advocacy on taxation, look at salient issues around tax sector, and also build leadership capacity of young people, because there is a really lot that we can do as young people to put the country on the right track. Just like it has been said, we have a lot to do to put the country on the right track. By whatever we are doing, we should be committed in doing that. And we see what the SAT have done so far, and the great testimony we've listened to of people transitioning to take careers in taxation, wherever they find themselves, just that leadership spirit and all the spirit of always wanting to contribute to the society, to build the society and move forward. So I want to thank you, ma'am, for the opportunity, and we are looking forward to see SAT come back, and for more collaborations, for more platform like this for us young people to grow and develop our, not just the advocacy for taxation, but for the leadership spirits to revive and to continue to build. So thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Solomon. Thank you very much for all that you do for, as a young person, what you do in your capacity to further the course of tax advocacy, and also other things that you're doing, as part of the CIT, and I appreciate you, I celebrate you. Okay, so we're going to gradually come to the end of this session of testimonials. But it's not going to end. We're going to give everybody opportunity to share this. I can see Emmanuel that speak of one of our lieutenants. I mean, the pioneers. These are the people who gave a life to SAT and told us that their words and their actions, that young people are an asset to any nation, and that if mentored and given the opportunity, they can do so much more. I'm so delighted to have you, Emmanuel, in this forum. I'm going to give you an opportunity to share a testimonial. I can remember those days. What was your position? You tell us your position. I know you used to help facilitate things and make sure that our club days, everything went on smoothly. Maybe financial secretary or something, I can't remember. Thank you so much. So you come up and give your testimonial. Gogu. Okay, all right. So Emmanuel is not available at this time. Do we have the Simply in the house? Okay, she's not here. Okay. Who has not spoken yet? Who has not spoken yet? Sorry? You're not spoken. Okay. So if we have Emmanuel. Okay, so for now, I think we're giving every participant opportunity to say a word. So we're going to be moving on to the next thing, and from there we will wrap up this session. It's been an awesome time. Recognizing Students Advocate for task, the impact that it made. I celebrate you all for your patriotism, for the awesome things that you do to contribute your quota to nation building. I am so honored to be a part of such a noble program, and as part of my efforts to see that all of the awesome things that you guys did back in the day, it's not just what's under the carpet. I put together a mini book. It's an ebook for now, but it's going to be in the hard copy sometime soon. So we're going to be moving on to the virtual launch of the book. That's what they said. Now, and then, now all the things that you guys are saying, all your testimonials are in that book. This is said something to repeat what I said, that true success is when every generation continues to develop the next generation. I saw the awesome things that the articles that you wrote, your tax thoughts, your tax ideals, and the plans. I mean, it's just awesome that people compose, poems on taxation, to write an article on taxation, that's normal. But to put a poem, poems, tax articles, tax thoughts, tax ideas, and I said no. How the younger generation, tax ideals, your tax testimonials as well, to inspire the future. So that's what they said is a collection of tax articles, tax ideals by the Students Advocate for tax. All of the testimonials that I got are in this collection. That's what they said. And we putting this together, it's gonna be free download for everyone. Young people, older people are going to benefit from all of these wonderful, awesome articles that you guys put together. But specifically, we put this together so that it can become an educational tool for primary to learn about tax, but from young students advocate for tax. Ladies and gentlemen, of the book. That's what they said now and then. It's all about honoring the past and also inspiring the future. I honor and celebrate every member of the Students Advocate for Tax program, those who wrote poems, those who sang songs, those who wrote articles, those who went on tax rallies and gave of themselves as a way of contributing to the development of Nigeria. I celebrate you all. I honor you. I recognize you. I don't know the word to use. And this book, Reminiscing Students Advocate for tax, that's what they said now and then, will not just serve as an educational tool for primary and secondary school students as well as tertiary education students on taxation, but it would also inspire them to do the same and even more. So that's how we bequeath. That's how we bequeath a taxpaying culture to the next generation. That's what they said now and then is how the Students Advocate for tax bequeath a tax-paying culture to the next generation. In case you have forgotten that our vision is to bequeath a tax-paying culture. So that's what this book is about. And it reminds me of something. As we launch this book, that's what they said now and then. It reminds me of what the 32nd President of the United States said when he said, we cannot always build the future for the youth, but we can build the future, we can build the youth for the future. So let me say it again. We cannot always use the youth for the future, but we can build we cannot always build the future for the youth, but we can build the youth for the future. So the SYEN program is about building the youth for the future. It's a testimonial to the creativity, resourcefulness of young Nigerians and their rate for change as expressed in their tax forms, articles, dramas, tax songs, tax stories, and peaceful rallies. The noble and inspiring story of the SAT will surely remain on the pages of the history of our nation, reminding and showing us a path to a more prosperous Nigeria. You can download this book from the web Society for Youth Empowerment in Nigeria website at SYEN, www.cyennigeria.org. So we're going to share the link with you. So this book, that's what it said, and now is available to be downloaded from the website of Society for Youth Empowerment in Nigeria, www.cyennigeria.org. So we're sharing the link with you. So I'm so thankful, and this book is dedicated to all SAT members, past and present, here in Nigeria and in the diaspora. And I say thank you so much for your contribution to nation building. Thank you so much for contributing your quota to the development of Nigeria through your tax stories, through your tax songs, through your tax forms, through your tax rallies, and all that you did back in the day and still doing by being present here to reminisce the Student Advocate for Tax, and even pledging to give your support in developing the next generation of tax advocates, next generation of leaders, next generation of technocrats. Thank you so very much, SAT. Thank you so very much, all of you, for coming. Thank you, BC Akwata. Thank you, Babawale Popola. Thank you, Wisdom Omorogwe, Kasarachi. I can remember all your names right now, but thank you so much, everyone, for coming. And thank you so very much, Honorable Sharaf Fadi Mohammed, for being with us up until this time. This will serve as my word of thanks. I thank you all so much. Thank you for this time that we spent together reminiscing the Students Advocate for Tax, for all the testimonials that you gave, and it's serving to inspire me to action. And to get alone, I can do very little. But together we can do so much more. And I thank you for pledging your support to not just reviving the SAT program, but to doing all that we can do, giving of ourselves to see a better, more prosperous Nigeria. I truly believe that a new Nigeria is possible as we continue to mentor and empower young people to do all that they can do to contribute to this cause. Thank you very much, everyone. And it's on this note that we'll come to the end of this. I just don't feel like going. I don't know how you feel, but I like to hear more testimony. I don't feel like going. But, you know, everything that has a beginning surely has an end. And we have come to the end of this awesome, interesting, wow, so nice seeing you all of this program, Reminiscing Students Advocate for Tax, and the virtual launch of the book, That's What They Said, Now and Then. Make sure you visit www.cyennigeria.org to download a copy of this book. And the next time we'll be meeting, we will be doing a physical on-site launch of a hard copy of this book, which by the grace of God will be distributed for free to primary schools, secondary schools, tertiary institutions. It will be in the library of as many schools as possible. That's the dream, so that all the poems that you wrote, all the stories that you wrote, all your articles will continue to inspire the next generation of tax advocates and serve as a way of you contributing your quota to the next generation and inspiring them to do even greater things. Thank you so much. And so this is after bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye, bye-bye. I would love to. Bye-bye.